Testing 1, 2. Sorry about that. We had a failure of the microphone. So let me see if I could pick up where we left off on that. You know what? I am just going to start over. Let's think. that really jogged my. That really come. So, anyways, we'll go back to the question. So I was asking myself disempowering questions as to why I wasn't posting the same way, or I wasn't getting the result the person was. And it was the totally wrong way of posing the question. And like so many other things, when we get lessons that we learn in life and we think we know it, but until we make it a habit, it's just information, it's just knowledge. So we have to action the knowledge. So I became aware, I heard the questions I was asking, I was conscious of it. And then all of a sudden I said, no, this is stupid. I know these are not empowering questions. And I heard this lesson replayed in my mind about guiding the questions. And guiding questions refers to this. It means, what is it that you want to feel? What is that outcome? And you don't have to have the specifics of whatever it is that outcome is. You just have to have something to guide you. So when I was looking at social media, I was thinking, well, what is it that I want? What is the best case scenario? What is it that I want? I want to empower people. I want to give content that adds to people's lives, that gives benefit. And I started asking different questions. And this is actually one of the reasons why I'm on here right now doing this post. Because the next question is, well, what's one thing that I could do right now that will give the value that I know my soul is here to give? Think about that for a second. Right? The question isn't saying, all right, how can I make a post that's around coffee that will get as many likes? The question is very open-ended. And it's calling from something deeper within me, deeper within you, as to what your sole purpose is. And what is it? What are the steps that are going to lead to that ultimate fulfillment? What is success in your eyes? And that was just an example of, that's what brought me on here. And that's just an example of me doing a podcast post. But let's think about it for the area of our physical bodies and our health, our relationships, our finances, the juice, the emotional juice of life. Because these are the areas that I feel like are really important, because life is not this zero-sum game where, like, once you get to the finish line, that's when you start to experience it, right? We are all here on a finite amount of time. So we want to enjoy every single moment we have. So by asking a different type of question, by saying, well, what is one thing I could do today to completely nurture myself and to feel great? Very different question than, why do I feel lousy? And let's take a different example. Let's give you an example of your physical health in your body, right? Because I had signed up for a weightlifting competition. I was going to do physique. But in the process of doing that physique contest and doing all the meal prep and the workouts, I felt like shit. I felt like pure ass. It didn't feel good. Then, my mind short-circuited. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this if it doesn't feel good? And so what is it that I want to feel, right? Because it was a shake. My ego was like, wanted to do this because I love the compliments again. I love, the comments and being disciplined, but I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I said, all right, well, what do I have to guide myself towards? It's like, well, I want to feel energetic. I want to have vitality. I want to feel freedom when I move. I want to, again, not to focus on. I was like, I want to have this looseness. I don't want to have the pain in my hips. I want to have like this looseness where I could squat, bend, do everything and feel great. And it's like, well, what's one thing that I can do today? that'll move me closer to that vision of my perfect health or my body. That led me doing things like stretching. Like, it sounds so obvious, right? But as most bodybuilders and weightlifters do, the one thing they'll usually skip is stretching, and it's one of the most important things. So I started doing these hip band exercises where I would like open up the hip joint to create more mobility. As a result, I've been feeling even better in like the hip area. I also cut back on my meat consumption. And these are, it sounds insignificant, right? Like, oh, it was such a small little change, but that's what life is about. Those were where you see the biggest benefits. Those are where you see the biggest gains. Through the small decisions that you make day in and day out. So let's go bring it back to the first question I asked you. What are the questions you're asking yourself on a daily basis? Is it like, what's wrong with me? Why is my life pure shit? Why is everyone else striving or everyone else doing well when I feel like I'm struggling? What are the questions you're asking yourself? Because the questions you ask are giving you the result. So let's ask yourself a better question. Think of an area of your life where you're not getting the result that you want. What are the questions that you're asking in this area? Look where your focus is going, right? Because sometimes it might be easier to reverse engineer the question by seeing the result you're questioning, saying, all right, well, if this is how I'm feeling and these are the thoughts that are going through my mind, what question needs to be asked in order to get this answer? And then that'll give you the question. Then when you write down that question, well, I think it would have to be this. Then you'll be like, all right, well, is that true? And more likely than not, you'll find that it is, right? It might not be in this exact wording, but you're getting that result, so therefore it is. And then ask yourself, well, what is it that I really want? What is it that I want to feel? Look for the emotions. The emotions are your guide. Emotions are that string that are going to pull you forward. You may not know the exact lifestyle you want to have, like the house and all that stuff, because all that stuff is really garbage, right? Because it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't give you, having the thing only sometimes leaves you feeling even hungrier. But your emotions, what you want to feel, the reason why we go after all the things we do in life is because we're trying to attain a feeling. And that is something that's available to you at any moment. So what is it you want to feel? Pick an area of your life. What is it that you want to feel in that area? You don't have to go into, like, if it's your physical body, you don't have to go into like the 6-pack ab, the 40-inch wide chest. You don't have to do any of that. Go into be general but specific, right? Because specific is general in a way with these questions. Strong, muscular, fit, flexible, full of energy. And then the next and last question, and this is one that you could repeat over and over by tweaking it in small ways. What is one thing I can do today that will move me closer to that vision? That is all I've got for you guys today. I hope that this episode gave you kind of a primer and some awareness as to what questions you're habitually asking yourself that you may not even be aware of. But also how to literally just flip that coin around like in a moment's notice to start asking different questions and to start changing the results that you're getting in life. If you enjoyed this podcast, I hope you consider subscribing. You could subscribe, ask a question or comment by visiting www.donnyraus.com. Again, DONNYRAUS.com. And if you like amazing coffee, please check out RausCoffee.com. Again, RausCoffee.com, where the emphasis is about creating coffees that give you that experience, that are rich, full-bodied, full of flavor without being bright in that acidity. Connecting you with the moment and the life that you were meant to live, to remembering that life is happening now. So why not take a moment to enjoy it? That is all I've got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed this. Remember, you get one life. Live it. God bless, and I will see you again soon.